Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're taking a trip to the absolute coldest, driest, and windiest continent on Earth. We're going to look at the dramatic geological transformation of our planet, specifically how Antarctica went from this thriving warm landmass to the ultimate frozen archive of Earth's climate. Honestly, if you really want to understand where our planet has been and where it might be heading, the story of Antarctica is literally your ultimate roadmap.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to just picture this for a second. India pushing northwards, jamming against Asia. South America drifting off, opening up the Drake Passage, keeping Antarctica frigid. We're talking about continental plates acting like massive puzzle pieces, violently reshaping the entire globe over millions of years. This isn't just some ancient, dusty history. It is the very foundation of the world we're living in today.
If you were to hop aboard a research vessel right now, crossing 9 time zones and 3 massive bodies of water to get there, what you'd find is a completely desolate reality. It's kind of like walking into a giant ping pong ball that is absolutely devoid of any human markers. No trees, no billboards, no buildings, just this massive expanse of white, uninterrupted blue horizons and this surreal 24-hour austral summer light. The silence is ubiquitous. It's really only ever interrupted by the sudden crack of an avalanche or a calving ice sheet. But as we look at this frozen wasteland, we have to wrap our heads around something wildly counterintuitive. It wasn't always this desolate, and it definitely wasn't always this isolated. So, let's travel back in time.
Part 1. The warm, ancient world. If we rewind the geological clock to roughly 650 million years ago, things looked wildly different. Right around where present-day Antarctica is, there was this giant amalgamated southern supercontinent, and it was called Gondwana. And here is the kicker. The climate was so much warmer. Gondwana actually hosted a massive, thriving variety of flora and fauna. For about 500 million years, this supercontinent flourished. Keep in mind there were 0 humans on the scene yet. But right around the time the dinosaurs were wiped out and the age of mammals was really just getting underway, this massive landmass was violently forced to separate.
Part 2. Shifting plates and drifting continents.
That separation? It definitely did not happen quietly. The breakup of Gondwana essentially sculpted the globe into the countries and continents we know today. Now, what's really interesting about this is contrasting 2 of the most dramatic journeys from that massive breakup. On one hand, you have India. It broke off, pushed northwards, and literally jammed against Asia with such immense force that it buckled the Earth's crust, which, by the way, is how we got the towering Himalayas. On the other hand, consider South America's journey. It drifted off to join North America, and by doing so, it tore away from Antarctica. That seemingly simple separation opened up something incredibly significant, the Drake Passage.
Part 3. Isolation and the deep freeze.
The opening of the Drake Passage wasn't just some minor geographic shift. It was an absolute climatic catastrophe for the Antarctic landmass. It completely altered the continent's destiny. You see, South America moving away allowed for the creation of the cold circumpolar current. This is a continuous, brutally frigid ocean current that swirls completely around Antarctica. Think of it like a massive geological lock and key. It effectively sealed off Antarctica from the warmer currents of the world, basically trapping it at the bottom of the globe and plunging it into an eternal, desolate deep freeze. So, the crucial point is the staggering result of that deep freeze. Today, a massive 90% of the Earth's total ice volume is stored right there in Antarctica. It's a place where the visual scale completely defies human imagination. Sure, you have tiny midges and mites, but you also have blue whales and icebergs that are quite literally as big as entire countries. I mean, the largest one ever recorded was the size of Belgium.
Part 4. Earth's frozen time capsule. But look, this explainer isn't just about deep ancient history. We really need to shift our focus to our immediate present, because Antarctica's frigid isolation actually makes it the single most important location on Earth for our current climate change debate. Let's put this into perspective for a second. Human civilizations have existed for a paltry 12,000 years. On the geological clock, that is barely a few seconds. Yet in that tiny fraction of time, we have managed to create quite a ruckus. We've etched our dominance with megacities, battled other species for resources, and unleashed the unmitigated burning of fossil fuels. We're essentially wrapping a blanket of carbon dioxide around the planet that's slowly but surely increasing global temperatures. But because Antarctica never sustained a human population, it remains relatively untouched.
And because it's so pristine, it offers us something completely invaluable. Just consider this number, 500,000. Trapped deep within those icy layers, Antarctica holds 500,000-year-old carbon records.
These ice cores are basically a pristine library of the Earth's atmospheric history. If we want to accurately examine where our planet has been, understand what is happening right now with global warming, and predict where we're heading in the future, those records make Antarctica the only place to go.
And this brilliantly illustrates why this isolated ecosystem is so absolutely critical. Because Antarctica has a very simple ecosystem and a lack of biodiversity, it's actually the perfect place to study how tiny environmental changes have massive cascading repercussions. Take phytoplankton, for example. These microscopic single-celled plants are basically the grasses of the sea. Through photosynthesis, they assimilate carbon and literally sustain the entire Southern Ocean's food chain. But scientists are warning that further depletion in the ozone layer will severely affect these tiny plants, which in turn impacts all marine life in the region and ultimately the entire global carbon cycle. It's a powerful metaphor, right? Take care of the small things, and the big things will fall into place.
To really bring this all home, let me share a super vivid moment from the text we're exploring. Just imagine this. Your ship wedges itself into a thick, white stretch of ice. You climb down the gangplank, and you are actually walking on the ocean. Underneath your boots is a meter-thick ice pack, but just beneath that, 180 meters of living, breathing saltwater. Out on the periphery, you've got craybeater seals sunning themselves on ice floes, looking a lot like stray dogs resting under a tree. It's a profound revelation when you stand there. You realize that on our planet, absolutely everything connects. The ancient tectonic shifts of Gondwana, those tiny phytoplankton, the thick ice pack, and our bustling modern cities, it is all one delicate, interconnected system.
Which brings us to a final, pretty provocative thought. We know that a whole lot can happen in a million years, but man, what a difference a single day makes in our current climate. So I'll leave you with this question straight from our source material. How would it be if Antarctica were to become the warm place that it once used to be? Will we be around to see it? Or will we have gone the way of the dinosaurs, the mammoths, and the woolly rhinos? It's definitely a chilling prospect, but understanding the geological evolution of Antarctica is our absolute best tool for figuring out the answer. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring.